Good morning, Jubilee. Happy Easter. And thank you to Ryan Crabtree on bass, leader of our World Beat Band, Hinton on the drums, Chris on the guitar, Ian on the piano, and this morning we have Michael on the trumpet. And of course, our amazing singers, we have Paula, Susie, and Ruth. So welcome, everyone. All of you who are here in person, Okay. Thank you for getting that out of the way early. All right, all of you who are online, we welcome you. Happy Easter to you wherever you are. Those of you who are regular attenders, you are welcome. Those of you who are just here because it's Easter and somebody dragged you with them, you are welcome. Those of you who are people with deep-seated beliefs, you are welcome. Those of you who have no idea what you believe, you are welcome. Everybody is welcome here. Just a few things. If you are new, there are bathrooms at the back and down these stairs. There is childcare out this door and across the sidewalk, which is the same room later where we will have a coffee hour that I hope you all will come to. So Jubilee is an interspiritual community honoring many different spiritual paths based in creation spirituality and rooted in the ways of Jesus. And today we celebrate the highest holy day in the Christian tradition, Easter Sunday. And so in that tradition, I invite you to join me in a traditional call and response that we do on Easter morning. And we've got some people that have bells that are going to join in. I will say Christ is risen, and you will say Christ is risen indeed. And the bells will ring as we pronounce this crazy, beautiful, improbable, irrational, passionate possibility. Christ is risen. Christ is risen. Christ is risen. Hallelujah. Let's stand and sing in the day.
Morning, Jubilee. Happy Resurrection Day. Coming back to life and feeling that excitement. I don't know if you can feel it in the room. A lot of energy going around. So let's breathe into this moment, whatever this energy means for you, whatever purpose that draws you to this, like a moth to a flame, whatever your spirit is being drawn to. Let's breathe into that moment and let's face to the east. Oh, ancestors of the East, good morning and happy day to you. We thank you for the breath that is given to us in this moment. We thank you for the beauty that surrounds us and for all the beauty that lives within. Thank you for this opportunity to return to that place that we know is rebirth. Thank you for the light. Thank you for filling us with the knowledge of the seed that lives within us to reach for that light and to grow in a good way. We thank you, ancestors of the Sun Nation, for coming and welcoming us in this way. We love you, we honor you, and we thank you in a good way, I hope. Face to the south, please. Oh, ancestors of the South, to all the living beings of the water nations, we thank you. It's with such gratitude on this day that we take this sip of water and quench our thirst for the great mystery of life, returning from death and returning to life with the very innocence that was given to us within the womb of our mother. Thank you for helping us to go into that darkness and remembering the fluency of language spoken between a mother and a child, the heartbeat that gives us all life. We thank you, Water Nation, for all these beautiful things. We thank you, thunder beings and cloud people and rain people, for coming and honoring us in this way. Know that you're always welcome here, that we love you and that we honor you and respect you in a good way. Oh. Face to the west, please. Oh, ancestors of the West, to all that have come before, to all the names that have been spoken to the wind in reverence and hope and prayer, we ask that those voices being names be heard again and hear our voice as we add it to the wind. We thank you, ancestors, for receiving and for guiding us in these times. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Face to the north, please. Oh, ancestors of the north, to all the beings of the wind nations, we welcome you. We welcome the wind and the voice and all the vibrations of goodness that it carries. We add our voice and our well wishes for the future. We ask you to take these energies and populate and pollinate the earth with them. Take us to those places that only the wind and love know to go. We thank you, Wind Nation, for each and every breath that we are given that is a miracle and a gift of life. We ask you to continue to flow in us gently and softly, and know that we treat you and love you tenderly in a good way. I hope. And if you will, just face the center and take a good deep breath. Whatever that looks like into the future, whatever you're holding in your heart today. And know, ancestors, that we offer this breath in a good way. As one indigenous people of this earth, we thank you. We thank you for the magic and the gift of rebirth, renewal, and resurrection in a good way. Thank you for all this beautiful magic that you offer us. Aho.
As we sing our next song, there is a basket on the front table, and we take 2 offerings during this celebration. The first offering, we ask you to come up, and everything that goes into this basket goes back out into the world to help our neighbors in need. Let's sing. Christ is risen, shout Hosanna, celebrate this day of days. Christ is risen, hush in wonder, all creation is amazed. Out in the desert all surrounding, see a spreading tree has grown. Healing leaves of grace abounding, bring a taste of love.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. So it's time for Jubilee in action, and right now I'd like to invite everybody up that has some good news they'd like to share with us.
Thank you. Happy Easter, Jubilee. If any of you have been here last week when Sarah Nicaragua came, she was so moving that we sold all the coffee out. So I brought I brought some more this morning, and it's not going to be in the hospitality room because that will be filled with wonderful food to celebrate Laura. But it's going to be on that cement table that's outside, halfway between here and the hospitality room. So if you still need some, come find me.
This will take 2 seconds. I have a hat. It's lost. It needs to be found. That's all.
Good morning, Jubilee. Immediately following today's service, whenever the band is playing, I'll be outside preparing a fire. I ask that we have some bowls, and I don't know if we have any more paper, but if you want to write down a word of well wish for Laura or something for Jubilee or whatever it is that you have in your heart, I'm not here to tell you what it is. But we will offer it immediately after the music is over. We'll gather out here in the courtyard around the fire, and we will offer these well wishes to the fire, and we will do a short blessing for Laura, and then we'll go enjoy all of these beautiful treats that have been brought. So thank you.
Good morning, Jubilee. I'm not going to attempt to get up on there because I'll probably have another injury. Welcome. Happy Easter. We are looking for a leader for our prayer chain. We have a co-leader or two, Laura and Jay, that would be willing to assist. However, we need a leader, and it's a vital part of Jubilee and the Care and Compassion team. What that would entail is you having the availability to check your emails twice a day at least. Preferably maybe pop in and check your emails a couple times in between. You receive a request for a prayer. Sometimes this needs to be done right away, so we need to be on top of it. You receive the request and you in turn forward it to people on the list, the prayer chain list. It's an email prayer chain list, so you're just going to be merely forwarding that on to, the people on the list. So it's that simple. Like I said, we have backups. We have Jay and Susie in case you're traveling or something comes up and you can't do it. So there'll be other people available to help you out. As far as the prayer chain goes, we were talking about it, and I think it's vital for the people that are on the prayer chain to make sure you respond to the email and say done or something, just to let people know that you took care of your end of it. So if you're interested, please contact Susie Davis sooner than later because she's got a lot on her plate. So if you can help out, thank you so much.
I'm Beth Juliar, and I'm here representing the outreach team, and I'm here to present and receive the gift. It's international. That's why the recipient. Thank you. I'm here from the outreach team, and this is a check for direct relief for Gaza for the humanitarian crisis. So I'll read a little bit about I'll read a little here about Direct Relief. It's a humanitarian medical assistance charity. It was founded in 1949, and it's based in Santa Barbara, California. It's top-rated by reputable organizations and widely respected for transparency and effectiveness. Non-governmental, non-sectarian, not-for-profit. It is active in all 50 states and over 80 countries. Direct Relief's programs focus on emergency and disaster response to prevent and treat disease. Direct Relief has been working in Gaza for a decade. They negotiate deliveries to the civilian population in the current crisis, despite difficulties. So thank you all.
So just a couple more things. A lot of you are probably wondering what's up next for Laura. And if you haven't already seen it, it's in the newsletter. So in her opening letter, there is a link to a whole article on what she plans to do with herself after she leaves here. So she's going to stay busy. We're going to miss her, though, aren't we? Yeah. The other thing is there is a list of the guest speakers for the next 6 weeks because Stephanie won't be joining us until May 19th. So between now and then, we've got wonderful lineup of guest speakers. Jay and Yona will be the liturgist every Sunday, and things are just going to go smoothly until Stephanie gets here. So everything's going to be really, really good because I know some people have been like, what are we going to do? No, we've got it down. The Seeds of Celebration are on the website, so if you have a thought about a gift you might want to give, you can see what the topics are there. And now we have Darcy with a gift of poetry.
Good morning, Jubilants. I feel blessed to be here. First, a joke. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Esther. Esther Bunny. It's my favorite. So, a tiny intro for this poem. This came from a workshop prompt, choose a month and write a poem about it. I chose the month of May. The form I chose is a pantoum, P-A-N-T-O-U-M, as in Mary. A pantoum is a poetic form that dates back to the 15th century in Malaysia, but it's new to me. The key feature of a pantoum is repeating lines. Pay attention now. The second and fourth lines of each stanza serve as the first and third lines of the next stanza. The last line of a pantoum is the same as the first. I wrote this about 9 months ago, and the title is Renewal. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be reading it at Jubilee with a theme of renewal, but here we are. Renewal. Mindful moments in the month of May. Find the first leaves in the mint patch. Light a candle in my daughter's name. Hear a cacophony of frogs at night. Find the first leaves in the mint patch. Nuzzle 4 tiny foster kittens. Hear a cacophony of frogs at night. Spot nested eggs under the mailbox. Nuzzle 4 tiny foster kittens. Wake up the lawnmower in the shed. Spot nested eggs under the mailbox. Slip into summer at the lake. Wake up the lawnmower in the shed. Light a candle in my daughter's name. Slip into summer at the lake. Mindful moments in the month May.
Thank you, Darcy, for that mindful moment. I want to nuzzle kittens. But I'm here, so I'll nuzzle you. Renewal. Just taking in that verb right now in the form of all of your beautiful faces. In the form of this beautiful face who has helped us renew for so many moons. We are risen indeed. This is a time for us to pray for those of you who are new and for those of you who have been coming since, well, many moons. I invite you to ring and sing bowls and bells. Yona and Diane will be at the Western Wall to share communion with you and pray with you as you choose. Those of you that are online or watching in the future, time travel is possible. You may email prayers@jubileecommunity.org. Let's pray on this holy day of an infinity of holy days. All this joy, all this sorrow, all this promise, all this pain. Such is life. Such is being. Such is spirit. Such is love. Such is love. Such is love. I invite you to take a hand. Let's see. Here we go. Sometimes renewal and resurrection, I believe, takes a bit of a double dog dare. You got to push yourself. Now, nature around us just seems to do it on its own, but we humans are a stubborn bunch, as evidenced by we've had to push ourselves through our own renewal and resurrection as a community. I had to push myself this weekend. I knew there was a camping trip coming up, and I kept seeing the weather, 30 degrees on Friday night. And I kept looking at my bed at home going 70 degrees on Friday night. But I knew that there was renewal waiting for me. And I knew when I woke up Saturday morning, hearing the birds, seeing the river, smelling camp coffee, hearing joyous kids playing, that I was renewed by taking a bit of a double dog dare. Jubilee, You've been taking many double dog dares, and into the future we go. Little gentle pushes remind us and renew us. So I encourage you, as the flowers come up, more birds peek out and sing, let us find more and creative ways to push ourselves gently but bravely into this new world. Give those holy hands a squeeze, and after we sing, let's share God's love with one another.
Good morning. It's been a minute. For me, anyway. I don't know about you. Hold on. I love you too. And I love Laura. And oh my God, stop. It has been a minute, and some of that is because of that thing we all want to forget that happened around 3 years ago. It had us squinting at our screens exclusively for way too long. And part of it had to do with work schedules, and part of it had to do with a lot of other complications in life. I've been spending a lot more time for the last 3 years since my stepfather died over in Tennessee, helping my mom out with stuff. And I've been struggling to think of what to sing today. And of course, I have an obsessive mind, so it needs to be the perfect song, right? And I'm like, okay, so Easter, so resurrection, renewal, and nothing came to mind. And it's like, but it's Laura's last, so it needs to be a send-off, it needs to be the perfect song for Laura. No, it needs to be the perfect song to welcome Stephanie. But wait, it's April Fool's Eve. And it's Jubilee after all, so the most irreverent, irrelevant, ridiculous thing. And, but everything I thought of just felt wrong somehow, you know. And I realized the only thing I really feel moved to play is a very recent song. And it relates to why I've been out of town so much. And my only hesitation was, but it's a sad song. And you don't want to come to Easter Sunday and sing a sad song and drag everybody down. But then this morning, I went back to get on YouTube and decided to figure out what's this Stephanie person all about. And I listened to the talk she gave a couple weeks ago about having writer's block and stage fright, giving a commencement speech, and having nothing prepared until literally the moment she stepped up to the mic. And her solution to that had such kind of grace and simplicity to it. And I thought, well, you know what? And then I realized there are ways in which this song is kind of perfect, even though it's sad, because it's about transformation of sorts. And yeah, we've been going through a lot of growing pains in this community for sure. But I think this can be emblematic of those who are jumping the nest and flying onto something else, and as a community going through transformation and all that stuff. As my stepfather, his health was failing towards the end. The language center of his brain was very affected. And he started saying some pretty interesting things, sometimes kind of poignant and sometimes funny and sometimes both at the same time. And as the language was becoming blurrier for him, so too was the line between this world and 40 years earlier when he thought he was in the hospital at age 20, when he ended his football career on a blown-out knee, and also the line between here and maybe whatever's next. It was kind of hard to tell. He was in several places at once. And at one point, he lifted his arms, and he kept making references to parts of his body, like, could we get rid of this? Or what's, going to help me with these? And he points to his feet and says, vegetables? And I'm like, vegetables? Really? Is that the word you were looking for? And he laughed and said, no, never mind, forget it, I can't think of it. And at one point, he couldn't find the word for arms and said something else instead. And my mom and I just about fell over. And so this one's for Jamie. My legs are no use anymore. Oh, how they used to race down the field as I carried the ball, outrunning them all in the chase. But they no longer hold me upright or carry me across the floor. They're really just taking up space. I don't need them at all anymore. But what do I do with these wings? Such elaborate, cumbersome things. What are they for? I've never used them before. What do I do with these wings? And my arms used to be so strong, holding you oh so tight, and my hands accompanied melodies for the words that they helped me to write. Now my fingers are turning to feathers. I think you better rescue my ring.
some things. What are they for? I've never used them before. What do I do with these wings? You know I've always been quite attached to my head, but what good does it do me just laying in bed? All at once I feel that I might fly, unfold them and take to the sky. Is this what to do with these wings? Such elegant, beautiful things. What are they for? I've never used them before. Is this what to do with these wings? I know what to do with these wings. Look what I can do with these wings.
That was perfect, Brian. Thank you. I threatened him. I said, look, I only have a few more weeks. You got to get back up here. So thank you for doing that. Listen now for these ancient words. From the 16th chapter of Mark's Gospel. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought spices so they could embalm Jesus. Very early on Sunday morning, as the sun rose, they went to the tomb, and they worried out loud to each other, who will roll back the stone from the tomb for us? And then they looked up and saw that it had been rolled back. It was a huge stone, and they walked right in. They saw a young man sitting on the right side, all dressed in white. They were completely taken aback, astonished. He said, "Don't be afraid. I know you're looking for Jesus the Nazarene, the one nailed on the cross. He's been raised up. He's here no longer. You can see for yourself that the place is empty. Now on your way, tell his disciples that he is going on ahead of you to Galilee. You'll see him there exactly as he told you." They got out as fast as they could, besides themselves, their heads swimming, and stunned, they said nothing to anyone. This is ancient wisdom and holy word. Thanks be to all that is wise and holy. All creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings of wisdom in God. Hallelujah. $525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments, oh dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in striving. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in a life? How about love? How about love? Love. Seasons of love. Seasons of
Seasons of love. Seasons of love.
How do you measure your life? In the year of my life, leading up to last Easter, 2023, I had experienced the death of 6 of my friends, all of them my age, some of them younger. I also went through a difficult breakup, and with its loss, I realized how that relationship had shielded me from feeling all kinds of grief that I was holding. For my mother's deepening dementia, for my little 15-year-old dog's diminishing health, for the distancing of friendships that had happened over the pandemic, and for the grief of the world. Oh, the grief of the world. The millions of lives lost during the pandemic, the thousands of Black lives lost to police violence and incarceration, and the increasing loss of species with extinction rates hundreds of times their natural rate. So I got to Holy Week 2023, and I did what I always try to do on Holy Week, which is to enter into the experience of Jesus in those last days of his life. The betrayals, the denials, the abandonment, the injury to his reputation, the physical pain, and of course, the death. It's a tricky thing to be a minister on Easter. Each year, we're expected to get up and have something wonderful, exciting, and fresh to say about resurrection, new life, hope, renewal. And each year, we need to lean into the pain and passion of Holy Week right up until the minute that we show up in Easter sunshine. We ministers, like many of you, choose to enter into that painful story, not because it is an ancient story that we revere, or not only that, but because it is our present story. Holy Week tells the story of the suffering in our world. Every year, like in the Palestinian times of Jesus, there are occupied peoples in our world. There are innocent people convicted in unfair trials and imprisoned and tortured. There's poverty, and there is hunger, and there is war. There is that unholy alliance between empire and religious leadership that executed Jesus. This is not an old story. This is our story. So last year, I led a Holy Thursday service inviting folks into the darkness. And then on Good Friday, I tried to pull myself back out of that place of suffering so that I could finish up my Easter Sunday message. But in 2023, I was so deep in my own grief and the grief of the world that when Good Friday arrived, I couldn't pull myself up. I lay on the couch, praying over the story of the crucifixion, and lying there, I realized I just felt done. Done with it all. The grief, the sadness, the pain of the world. And I don't mean done feeling it. I mean done ever wanting to feel it ever again. I thought of my son who was launched into the world in exactly the way he dreamed it. I thought of my mother, recently moved into a memory care unit where she was finally getting the care she needed. And I realized, you know what? Everyone's going to be fine without me. I think I can just go now. And so I told God, I said, you know what? I feel complete. I feel tired. Tired of holding all this pain, and I would just be fine dying now. And, you know, I meant it. And I let myself feel it for a very long time. I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't going to do anything to hasten my own death. And I had felt this way one other time 30 years before when I was depressed. But this time felt a little different because underneath the tiredness, there was this trembling desire to be united with God. I wanted once and for all that sense of separation between me and the divine to disappear. I wanted once and for all that separation between me and the oneness of all life that I believe in to dissolve. I wanted to let go of this world and this body and to enter into the soul of the universe. So I went to bed early that night, knowing that no matter how I was feeling, I would need to get up on Holy Saturday and put the finishing touches on my Easter message. And a funny thing happened. I woke up Saturday, and the months of grief were gone, lifted, vanished. I didn't feel okay. I felt great. I felt alive. I felt purposeful. I felt grateful. I felt joy. Resurrected. Christ is risen, raise your spirit from the caverns of despair. Walk with gladness in the morning, see what love can do and dare. Drink the wine of resurrection, not a servant, but a friend. Jesus is our strong companion, joy and peace shall never end. Drink the wine of resurrection. Drink the wine of resurrection. Become intoxicated with life, tipsy with possibility, inebriated with newness, high on hope. I had wanted to let go of this life to find that union with the divine. Instead, I was thrust back into life, reminded of what and who and how much I love. Reminded that loving this world, these people, this body, this earth, its creatures, these stars, this world, this life. This is where resurrection happens. Breathe. Well, it sounds good, and it felt good, and what came before it did not feel good. There is a Rumi poem that begins, "The grapes of my body can only become wine after the winemaker tramples me." Which reminded me of the John Donne's sonnet that I fell in love with in college that starts, "Batter my heart, three-personed God." Or the Indian poet Mirabai, who wrote, "If you want to offer love, be prepared to cut off your head." That's some pretty intense poetry. And each of these mystic poets speaks directly to the journey of Easter. We each have experiences of being trampled and battered. Perhaps even right now, you are carrying pain that feels like it's too much to bear. The world is full of crucifixions, even as we celebrate right this minute. How do we stay awake to the hurt without succumbing to despair? Jesus was trampled, was battered, was crucified, and not because an abusive God demanded it, but because this is what an unloving world does. and his willingness to suffer with the world. Suffer with, that is, compassion, became the portal into union with God. The portal to rebirth, the portal to mysterious possibilities, the portal to hope beyond our rational imaginings, the portal to life so steeped in radical grace that the boundaries between this world and other worlds dissolve. Between bodies and souls, between minds and spirit, the veil lifted, the stone rolled away, the tomb emptied out. Behold the wine of resurrection. And the message of Easter is that this miracle was not for Jesus alone. The portal is open for each of us. A portal opened through compassion, through suffering with. It is this portal that we celebrate on Easter. Now, I would not dare ever say to anyone who is in the midst of a great trampoline, you're being prepared for the wine of resurrection. And yet I believe it. I believe that there is no grief that if we allow ourselves to fully enter into it, cannot break us open into new life. Our grief is a sign of our love. We grieve for what we love. And love is the portal. The Irish poet John O'Donohue wrote, "We are always on our way from darkness into light. Every morning we come out of the dark territories of dreaming into waking awareness of the day. Every night, no matter how long, breaks again and the light of dawn comes. At birth, each of us made a journey from darkness into light, from the warm, secure darkness of the womb into the light of the world. So we are no strangers to darkness, and we are special friends of the light." He goes on, "One of the beauties of Easter morning is that the light that comes with Christ is a gentle but penetrating light. There is no hurt anywhere within us, no matter in what crevices it might be buried, but that the light of Easter can reach it and heal it. There is no hurt anywhere within us, no matter in what crevices it might be buried, but that the light of Easter can reach it and heal it." Breathe. On that first Easter morning, Mary Magdalene and several other women carried spices to the tomb, and they asked each other, "Who will roll the stone away for us?" And maybe that's what I was asking last Good Friday. Who will roll back the stone from the tomb where death and grief, loss and longing have been buried in my heart, in my body, in my soul? And maybe that's a question that all of us ask at some point. Who will roll back the stone? Is there some aspect of your life or the life of the world that you really can't imagine emerging from the darkness? Maybe the dark of the tomb feels safer than the suffering that preceded it. And maybe you'd just like to stay there, resting and rotting. It's kind of how I felt last year. But here's the thing. Rot is the place where new life begins. A grand old tree falls in a storm, crashes to the ground, its roots wrenched from the soil, the beauty of its leafy crown crushed. Is it destined only for rot? No. Soon, or at least soon in the ways of nature, it becomes a nurse log. Nurse logs are fallen trees that offer seedlings nutrients and protection, making way for a new generation. Fungi and bacteria break down the wood, and as the tree's structure deteriorates, holes in the bark grow and become filled with soil and moss and mushrooms and small plants, all nitrogen-rich organic matter. And as the log decays, those seedlings become strong enough to support themselves, and new life begins. These dead trees are teeming with far more life inside them than they ever had when they were alive. These fallen trees contain 5 times more living matter than when they were growing upright. Deep in the forest, there is always life after death. The story of Easter is a story not just about Jesus, that great tree that was felled. It's a story about a community that rose up from the body of that fallen tree. A community that, when it stays true to its roots, grows mosses of compassion, lichens of love, seedlings of sympathy, a whole forest of kindness. None. So whatever pain you are experiencing, however you are holding the pain around you, whether you are ready to spring to life or you feel like resting and rotting, hear me when I proclaim this promise. The decay you mourn is the humus of the new earth. And the smoke from the fires of your grief can carry you up into the new heaven. This new earth, this new heaven, it's all right here. Wherever there is compassion, wherever there is love. So let your heart be battered until it beats only for love. Let your anguish be trampled into joy. Drink the wine of resurrection, jubilants. Get drunk on rebirth and new possibilities. Sing out for the new heaven and the new earth. Awaken to everything you love. Everything you love. Everything you love. Here is your life. You have minutes and moments and seasons to fill. So, how will you fill yours?
How about love? How about love? How about love? Measured in love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love.
sing during the offertory, but there was one more song I really wanted to sing with y'all. So we're going to sing as the bowls go around and we collect today's offering for this community.
For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, for the knowledge from our birth, over and around us lies, over and around us lies. Lord, all to thee we praise. This our joyful hymn of praise. For the beauty of each hour, of the day and of the night, hill and dale and tree and flower, sun, moon, and stars alight, sun, moon, and stars alight. Lord of all, to thee we praise. This our joyful hymn of praise. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, friends on earth and friends above, far gentle thoughts and mild, far gentle thoughts and mild. Lord of all, to thee we praise. This our joyful hymn of praise.
Easter Bunny,
Oh my God, it's Jubilee.
you're not getting away without a blessing.
Oh boy.
Jubilants. Laura, you have blessed us.
And likewise.
So now it's your turn. Jubilants, take a nice deep breath. Savor this sweet face. Drink deeply of the time that we have shared with Laura. And in a moment, we will do that thing where we rub our hands together. But I'm going to invite you for a moment to just repeat after me. Laura Collins, we bless you. We bless you as you have blessed us. We bless your journey as you have blessed ours. You have changed us, and you have changed, you have changed our life, and we hope that we have changed yours for the better. We thank you for lighting the way forward. And Laura, we will leave the light on for you. Laura Collins, we bless you. I invite you to stand. Receive these blessings of this community. Send them out. And there are more blessings to come. You don't have to repeat anymore.
We thought we'd be real official. Oh, it's so Presbyterian.
It is Presbyterian.
Oh, I love it. Just like me.
Whereas, so what y'all don't know is when we were in the middle of the desert and trying to figure out the transition, there's a person standing next to me over here that wrote a whereas document that was really good, that helped solidify the future for us. So we got to do it back. Whereas Laura Collin has served faithfully as interim minister for our Jubilee community. Whereas Laura Collins has brought many wonderful guest speakers and singers to Sunday celebrations. Whereas Laura Collins has cracked hundreds of corny jokes. Whereas Laura Collins has successfully helped navigate the move from Wall Street to State Street. Whereas Laura Collins has persevered through countless staff and board leadership transitions. Whereas Laura Collins has provided invaluable support to the ministerial search task force. Whereas Laura Collins has helped sustain our community in the midst of much uncertainty. We bestow upon her our profound thanks, gratitude, and appreciation for all of her leadership in keeping Jubilee community vibrant, active, and together.
Oh, yeah! You don't get to have dry eyes today.
In one of the congregations I served, there was an older man who was far more conservative than I was, and we had a lot of conversations. But one of his complaints about me was that at funerals, I would do sort of a eulogy thing. And he would say, "It's not about the person who died, it's about Jesus." So, you know, y'all, this is Easter, and thanks for making it about me, but it really is about Jesus. So go out into your world this week knowing that deep in the forest, there is always life emerging from death. Oh, yeah.
Let the rivers wild. faces gone black, eyes burning bright. May the precious blood bind me. Lord, as I stand before your firelight, light, 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 I see a Mary in the garden, in the garden of 1,000 sighs. There's holy pictures of our children dancing in a sky filled with light. May I feel your arms around me. May I feel your blood mixing with mine. Dream of life comes to me like a catfish dancing on the end of the line. Ooh, sky of blackness and sorrow, sky of love, sky of tears, sky of glory and sadness, sky of mercy, sky of fear, sky of midnight and shadow. Your burning wind fills my arms tonight. Sky of longing and emptiness, sky of fullness, sky of blessed light. Come on up for the rising. Come on up, lay your hand in mine. Come on up for the rising. Come on up for the rising tonight. Sing it. Light, 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 light. Happy Easter Jubilee! Into Ron and Chris, Ian, Ruth, Susie, and Paula, thank you so much. Go outside for the blessing. There's a blessing outside.